So, Tansy, just
All right.
tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I am a 59-year-old female. I am a retired physical therapist. Just retired back in May, and I have been doing a keto lifestyle on and off, majority on, as compared to off for probably about 35 years.
Nice. All right, so for our new listeners, can you just explain what ketosis is and how you implement that in your life?
Well, for me, what it means is really watching my carb intake. I've never been a big sugar person, so that's not really ever been a problem for me. So,
Okay.
It's been a matter of over the years just finding out what works best for me, what makes me feel the best, and just staying very low on my carb intake.
Perfect. All right, so you said you've been on and off for about 35 years. Have you tried...
About 35 years.
Between those 35 years, have you tried any other diets?
Oh, yes.
Do you mind naming them?
Say my three biggest ones over the years, I think my first one was Weightwatchers because they've been around forever and a day. And then I tried Herbalife when that was very popular, and that was really kind of one of the first big protein shake kind of diets that was out there.
Yeah.
And then gradually, read more and more about Atkins and low-carb diets, keto diets, and found that really works best for me.
Perfect. What was it about the other ones that kind of like either didn't work or you didn't like them long term? Like, what was it about those?
Yeah, well, with Weightwatchers, which again was probably one of the first ones that I had tried, it was just so many, you had to measure everything. You had to count calories. They tried to teach you how to visualize things, but, you had to have so many of this and so many of that and so many of this, and it gets mind-boggling, when you're trying to count, wow, how many vegetables did I have today? How many fruits did I have today? How many proteins? And it's just too chaotic. And then with Jenny Craig's, it was just the hassle of having to buy their food and go in once a week and, meet with a counselor who really doesn't know anything, in my opinion, when it comes to nutrition. So for me, the keto kind of diet, really, there's no measuring. It's just knowing, what you can eat and still stay below whatever your carb count is for the day that makes you feel good. And you can do anything with it. You don't have to say, oh, I can't go out to dinner tonight because I got to eat my damn Jenny Craig's.
Right. I never even thought about that, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and there's no guilt factor there because, again, when you're on Jenny Craig's and you're buying all this food and you're spending all this money, and then somebody calls and says, hey, let's go out to dinner tonight, so-and-so's going or whatever, and you're sitting there going, okay, now I feel guilty.
Right, there's that sunk cost where you're like, oh, I just spent all this money on these meals.
Right.
I didn't even think about that.
I just spent $200 for the week, for these little packaged meals that taste like cardboard.
That's the best part is you get on keto, you can have fresh food, you can go out, you can stay in, doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So over the course of your life, have you met any weight loss goals with keto?
Yes, I definitely have. Probably over, again, the last 35 years, I have lost overall probably 45 pounds and pretty much have maintained that over the last 25 years. Very
nice. Do you happen to remember how long the 45-pound loss was? Like a month period, or did you just not really keep track?
I didn't really keep track. I'm a scale person, so as long as I get on the scale and that scale isn't going up and it's coming down, I consider that a success. And with any kind of a diet, you're going to hit plateaus. Your body, in my opinion, and I think there's a lot of research out there, every person's body has a set point. And no matter how hard you try, you might drop below that, but eventually your body starts adjusting, and you've got a set point. Your body and its metabolism is going to tell you, okay, you're probably never going to weigh less than this and feel good.
Right. And at a certain point, you just don't feel right.
I've been down, when I was in college, I was probably down to about 116 pounds, and I felt like crap. So, I know.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, And again, my philosophy is it's how you feel and how your clothes fit and how energetic you feel. It's not really about the scale, but that gives me that visual feedback that I know where I feel comfortable.
Right. All right. Do you remember how you went about changing your eating habits the first time when you were switching over to keto and eating proteins instead of carbs?
Crash straight into it. Again,
perfect.
Back in the day, it was all about Dr. Atkins, and it was the old school Dr. Atkins where you could eat as much as you want of any kind of proteins, fats, cheese, and you just ate until you said, okay, I'm full, which again I found didn't work well for me. I still didn't feel good even though the weight was dropping off like crazy. I didn't feel good doing that. So, over the years I've learned how to adjust so that I'm still never hungry, but I'm not eating everything in sight.
There you go. Yeah, it's all about at least getting into it. That's what I suggest for everybody, is just to crash into it at first, and then after that kind of adjust from there and see how you feel on maybe below 40 carbs, or maybe you need more calories, or it just kind of depends on you.
Yep. Exactly.
So what would your what's your typical day of eating look like breakfast, lunch, dinner?
My typical day for breakfast, again, I like a lot of variety. So breakfast can be anything from, Costco's Premier shake, protein shake, to making my own shake in a blender where I use whey powder, and I might put some peanut butter in there and some almond milk and ice.
There you go.
To some mornings I get up and I'll make breakfast. I'll have a ham and cheese omelet, or I'll scramble some eggs and have a few slices of bacon. It just depends on what I'm hungry for. And lunch is usually a little bit on the lighter side. I'll usually have some slices of lean turkey and some sliced cheese, maybe a few veggies, carrot sticks, celery sticks, that sort of thing. And then dinner typically is, some sort of protein, whether it be chicken or steak, and always a salad.
Nice. Yeah, it's good and well-rounded there. How what was your keto flu like at the beginning?
Headaches. Yeah, I had really some pretty nasty headaches for probably about 4 days, but nothing that Advil didn't take care of. But, headaches.
Gotcha. Not too bad. Did you have any trouble adjusting to, how to read nutrition facts labels, or did you pretty much just stick to the Atkins, eat lots of protein, fat type of thing?
Pretty much stuck to Atkins, although, again, if I am going to eat carbs, I'm always looking at the label. And,
gotcha.
I want to know what's in there. I don't like to go too high on a daily basis, again, just because I don't feel good. So I've always been a label reader just because I find it interesting as well.
That's good. And I think you'd mentioned a little bit before, eating out with friends. What do you look out for there?
Again, when I go out to eat, if I'm going out to breakfast, I'm going to have a nice omelet. I'm going to have scrambled eggs with, maybe a side of ham, something of that nature. Going out to dinner is always easy because, I'll have, maybe prime rib, or if they have roasted chicken, and then a nice salad. So going out to me is never, I can always find something on the menu.
That's what I found as well. That's one of the best parts.
Yep.
Because it's really not that hard once you look for it.
Nope.
What about a drink? Do you just stick with water, or do you do anything else like coffee?
I drink coffee. I drink water. I drink club soda. Coffee, to me, I'm not a black coffee drinker, so if I say I'm out having coffee, I will usually order coffee, and I'll put some cream in it because that's totally keto.
There you go.
And maybe I'll put some sweet and low in it. If I'm at home, I buy sugar-free creamer. It does have a few carbs in it, but it still stays within my daily goal.
Right. Perfect.
And I'm a big coffee drinker.
Gotta have that coffee.
Oh, I gotta have that coffee.
Do you exercise at all in addition to keto?
Yes. Yep. I am usually in the gym depending on my schedule, but I love to get to the gym at least 4 days a week. Sometimes I'm there 5 or 6 days a week, just depends what we have going on. But yeah, I go to the gym and I have my workout routine. I do, again, being older, I stay light weights. I do more reps, more sets, but light weights. And then I do a T-Rex program, and I do a cardio program.
Nice. And I know you mentioned that you kind of fluctuated your carbs and whatnot with your mood.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you first moved over to keto, any mood changes? Like, do you think in general you started feeling better?
Oh, I definitely started feeling better. Yeah, much more energetic.
Perfect.
And I know if I do a carb cycle day, usually I'll feel it the next morning, and it's like, oh, I can't do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly the feeling when you have a cheat day or carb cycle day, whatever you want to call it.
Why did I do that?
Yeah. on one point, I've been just trying out this whole carb cycle thing, and so it's like on one level it's fun because you get to cheat a little bit on stuff you never eat anymore, but then on the other hand you're like, no, I'm not sure about that. It filled me up so much. I just feel groggy and tired. Right. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and not to say that, every now and then I won't go out somewhere and say, oh, I'm dying for an ice cream cone, and I have an ice cream cone, and then it's just like, okay, now I'm back on track again. I'm over that. I won't need one of those again for a long time.
Right. And the funny part I've noticed is after you've gone through at least keto flu, usually around like week 2 through 4-ish, is if you try and go back to stuff like that, like a sugary coffee drink or ice cream or something like that, it just doesn't taste the same anymore.
Oh, no, it's almost disgusting. It's so sweet.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you can't even handle how sweet it is, and it makes your stomach sick.
Your taste buds totally change.
Yeah, it just doesn't even taste the same anymore. It's just, I never would have believed it. Even people I tell now, when I tell them that once you get through that first couple weeks, it's not even going to taste good anymore. They look at me like I have 4 heads. They're like, what? That can't be right.
Yeah.
And it's totally true. It's weird.
Yep.
All right. So that's all I have for you. Do you have any questions for me or any comments you'd like to make?
I think just the only comment I'd like to make, to the population that you're, trying to address is that it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you are a teenager who's overweight looking to feel better, if you're middle-aged or if you're older, such as myself. This diet, in my opinion, and again, I've been doing it, for like 35 years, you're just going to feel better. And I think that that's everybody's goal. We want to feel better. I'm not so much about looks. I'm about, how do I feel? Do I feel motivated when I get up in the morning that, I want to go to the gym, or I want to go out and do something outside active-wise, Do I want to go snow skiing, I pray to God that, I'm going to be skiing when I'm 80, 85 years old. And I think a lot of that just has to do with, how does your body feel? Can you do that? And this kind of a diet, I think it just keeps you so open to living longer, living healthier, and just feeling good on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons to get into it. I know I first got into it because I heard the keep your muscle, burn your fat, and as a weightlifter, bodybuilder type guy, that's what drew me in. But there's tons more to it, and it really applies to just about anyone, whatever your goals are, which is the great part.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So
all right.
As far as this kind of a thing, I think for most people, you just got to know it needs to be a lifestyle. You can't think of it as, gee, I'm on this diet. It's like, this is the way I eat because this is what makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's what makes everything that much easier, because as a diet, it just, when you use that term, it keeps you in the short-term mindset, and it keeps you very, very, very closed off to really learning anything, because the whole part about lifestyle to me means, like you had said, you started this a long time ago, and you just keep learning a little bit more about it, and that's why I included the lifestyle part instead of just saying, the keto diet, because that doesn't work anymore. Diets don't work.
No. Nope. It's got to be lifestyle changes.
Perfect. All right.
Great.